Back in the day, this used to be a pretty big topic of discussion, but as the timeskip rolled out, this discussion sort of died down because everyone just assumed that this is yet another Anime Logic moment. But this chapter has successfully reignited that discussion, especially in regards to Sanji's Diablo Jambe, because there's a lot of different things which are going on here, especially involving the lore of One Piece and the expanded world building that Oda has done for such a really long time. So hello and welcome to NYZ, my name is Som and thank you so much for joining in. In this video we're going to talk about Sanji's awakening, and no, this is not Devil Fruit awakening but rather Lineage Factor awakening. Moreover, this video is going to contain stuff from One Piece chapter 1023, anime only readers have been warned. But before that, if you're new here then please consider subscribing to our channel since I do weekly anime and manga related content along with a bunch of other stuff. With that being said, let's begin the video. Now initially when Sanji introduced his technique all the way back on Enies Lobby, this used to be sort of a practical move because back then this was no random technique which just Sanji brought out basically using anime logic. This had real world scenarios and real world implications or scientific techniques if you would like to call it like that. But even then it had some major ramifications. If he overdid it, if he overused this technique, it could definitely harm his body. Even Chopper was very surprised and kind of scared when Sanji used this technique for the very first time. Because here, according to the pre-timeskip definitions, Sanji would activate Diablo Jambe by spinning at high speeds, thus heating up his leg due to friction. And this is something which Sanji used to do in the pre-timeskip era, where in order to activate this technique he did spin, whether it was his left leg or his right leg, he actually did spin. And after that, once this technique is activated, he used to do a number of different shots. Most of them were definitely in relation to cooking, some kind of mincement technique, some kind of technique which utilizes food basically, because he's after all the cook of the Straw Hats. So that was his entire lineage. Moreover, Diable Jambe is a French word which essentially translates to devil's leg or devil's feet. Moreover, as I said, if Sanji used this technique for too long or too frequently, it could seriously injure his body, therefore it had real world implications and ramifications. But things sort of started to change after the timeskip, because during his 2 years training, Sanji demonstrated a far better mastery of Diable Jambe, and he's basically using this without any of the adverse effects. We sort of assumed that this is basically anime logic, like how Chopper no longer had the weaknesses of the monster point, so we all thought that alright, just Sanji has maybe gotten stronger and that's why he's able to use this technique without basically spinning around and creating friction. He's directly able to ignite his leg. It was basically anime logic. We had sort of accepted it. I mean, the discussions for it were still there, but people just didn't really care about it that much up until this chapter. Because here, it's not just us, we the fans who are talking about it. It's literally Queen who is saying that what kind of a human can burst into flames? It's not like you are a Lunarian. Now, this is where things get interesting because it sort of implies that King's race is actually called Lunarian. This was a race which used to stay on top of the Red Line before the Marijoa was actually built, thereby saying that maybe the Celestial Dragons are some form of an alien who had captured this land. But anyway, that is a topic of discussion for another day. I'm going to come to King here because that is really important, but before that let me just keep the basis for this entire technique. So here, even Queen, one of the brilliant scientists of this world, I'm not saying here that he's more intelligent than Vegapunk or maybe even Judge, but he's among the top 3 I guess. So if he's saying that a human cannot just simultaneously burn his leg without getting hurt, then that has some real world ramifications, that has some real meaning. And before this, Queen also remarks that this must be a Germa modification, you are after all the brat of Judge, so he might have enhanced you in some form of a manner, because your leg burning like that, it has to be some form of an augmentation. And to this Sanji retorts that it's not like that, I hate to break it to you, I'm just a regular human being, I'm not like my siblings. And this is possible because my passion burns hotter than any real flame could ever reach. and therefore cooking up sea beast is basically my specialty. Now this is sort of a reference, sort of a callback to the moment where Oda was really questioned in the SBS volumes as to how Sanji was able to fire up his leg after the time skip, where he did not need to rotate as he used to do in the pre-time skip era. And back then Oda claimed that Sanji's flames burn hot, but his heart burns hotter, and that's why these flames are not able to hurt Sanji at all. But all of these are mere speculations and whatnot, because the main point of contention here is in relation to King. That is one of the biggest point of discussion for this chapter. Obviously the other one is for Zoro. I've already made a separate video for it. Links are in the description below, please go and watch that. But here I'm specifically talking about Sanji. So what is essentially going on here? He believes, or rather he assumes here, that this is all because he's using the raid suit for the second time, and since then his body has been kind of feeling off. He's not going to slow down Zoro, but it's just that his body feels a little different, a little odd. Now what is this odd feeling that Sanji is actually having here? Well, let's be real about it. Oda is finally doing it. The lineage factor is finally coming into the equation. Now for those of you who don't remember, lineage factor is basically the DNA in the world of One Piece. It's something which is contained in the devil fruits. It's something which is utilized in the artificial devil fruits, in the SAD and Smile and whatnot. And it is also present in the genetic modifications for Sanji and his siblings. Now for Sanji's case, it is a little bit different because his mother consumed a particular type of poison in order to stop Sanji from becoming a robot, an emotionless robot like his siblings. But unfortunately that was not the case for Ichiji, Niji and Yonji, because they were successfully born as modified children and they eventually developed an exoskeleton as well. But because of the efforts of Sora, she was able to stop Sanji from becoming the very same inhuman creature which his siblings were. Moreover, the explanation that we were given in the manga was that Sora was eventually forced to undergo surgery, which thereby resulted in the modified children, but before that, she was able to take a drug that was intended to counteract the effect that the surgery is going to have. However, we know that the drug which she took only affected Sanji, but it also made her health really worse to the point where she eventually died. Just that's it. We don't really know much about this drug. So what exactly was this drug and what exactly are the other lineage factors? Now if you ask me, I don't really think that the drug here is that important, but rather the entire lineage factor is the thing which is most important here. In the case of Sanji, he was supposed to be the stealth black or the jet black. I don't necessarily think that it's in relation to King's cells, but the point can be made that Windsmoke Judge initially wanted to bring in the attributes of this Lunaria clan, the clan of King, into his own Germa family as well, and that's why maybe he had infused these cells upon Sanji, but because of the drugs, they had been suppressed up until this moment, and now that he's using the raid suits, they're sort of having a reaction, and that's why his lineage factor is finally taking into the effect. That is one of the major reasons why he was able to tamper with fire. But honestly, if you ask me, I feel like this is a little bit of a redundant theory, because when Judge saw Sanji using all of these fire techniques throughout the entirety of the whole Cake Island, he must have exclaimed that, alright, my experiment actually worked. Sanji is actually displaying some form of the powers from the Lunaria clan. He must have experimented more upon Sanji. But nothing like that actually happened here, so my inclination is towards the second theory, which is in relation to Sora herself. What if Sora directly had a connection to this Lunaria clan? Now remember, we don't really know much about this Lunaria clan. We don't even know if this clan actually has wings on their back, because it's very much possible that King only had these wings because he ate the devil fruit. It's possible that these clan members don't actually have these wings, it's just that they are able to control fire. Just that's it, nothing more than that. So it's possible that Sora was maybe a weak member of that clan, and because of her genetics, Sanji eventually gets these powers as well. That would be a pretty good theory in my opinion, but the first one is obviously the more common one, and it seems like either of these two things are obviously going to happen. It's very much likely that Sanji is finally going to awaken some sort of a power. Now the question here is that, are you going to like it? Are the readers going to like this? Because the question can be made here is that If Sanji is eventually going to accept these powers, then what about his humanity? Is Sora going to lose her promise to keep Sanji as human as possible and to stop him from becoming a genetically modified human being? The answer here is no. If you ask me personally, the answer here is no. I don't necessarily think that Sora or Sanji are going to lose at this moment, because Sanji has proved his humanity. Time and time again, Sanji has proved his kindness, his courtesy, and his humanity, to the point where he actually risked his very own life to save his dysfunctional family who had abandoned him all those years ago. So honestly, Sanji doesn't lose anything here, he just gains more powers. So this is the basic Sanji awakening thing. We don't have 100% confirmation yet. This chapter only hints towards it, but let's be real about it, something like that is definitely going to come up very soon. That is also going to give us an explanation for Diablo Jambe as well. So yeah, I'm pretty excited. I'm looking forward to this. So what do you guys think about all of these things? Please do let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. So that's it for today, guys. See you all on the next one. But in the meantime, be sure to subscribe to the channel, join the channel membership and the Discord server as well. This is WonderYC, and I'll see you all on the next one.